me about it.
It's the greatest moment of my life. It was incredible. You were there. You were there on my shoulder, in my ear, all the coaching that we had, all of the things that we had talked about, I ran through my brain. And especially on the run, where I'm not a runner.
Yeah, I remember you were even having vertigo.
Yep, I still have vertigo. I still have vertigo, and that came and didn't go away. But I just looked past it.
And your time was what, 7 hours?
Yeah, 7 hours and 5 minutes. 12 minutes of transition, and
yeah, you did very, very, very well as a first. Actually, yeah. What month were you in bed battling with cancer last year? It was your last year only, right?
No, it was. So the completion of my radiation and chemo, which was 35 rounds of radiation and 7 weeks of intravenous chemo, that basically ended its working in my body on January 1st, 2018. Okay, but here's the gig. On, say, this day last year, I could only do 1 push-up. That's it. Yeah. I could swim about maybe 50 or 75 feet, and I live on Balboa Island, and I could run 1 block. And it's a very short block. That was it. That's where I started, and that was in June of last year.
Yeah.
The training for this was only... It's not even 9 months.
It's like 7.
Yeah, that's correct.
Like 7.
Yeah, I did that 1 triathlon, and then I had like 7 months. It's actually 7 months.
About 7 months. Tell me about it.
I didn't want to go too hard. I could have swam a little harder, but I didn't want to blow myself up. You were in my ears. Don't lose the race on the swim. Don't beat yourself. There was current, a little bit of wind. Swam in the last 900 yards. It was actually like a 2,400 yard swim. I did a 124 pace.
Wow.
And I felt good coming in. I was like, oh, I wanted to do this so bad. I'm going to make it to the bicycle. It was amazing. I never got past on the swing. Yeah. I only passed. It was so cool. So got my bike ready. I had really great nutrition set up. I had a hydration plan. And I got on the bike and I headed on up that little hill to the Queen K.
Yeah.
Here is what I did that made all of the difference in the world.
Tell me.
I got on the bike, I got on Queen K, I made the right and then to go to the turnaround. And I started thinking about everything I was grateful about.
That's good.
The entire ride, I just had thoughts of things that were difficult in my life, but then how they worked out. The people that I were grateful for, you, my sister, my parents, Janet, a big, long list of all the amazing things that have happened in my life, some that seemed negative at the time, and some that were positive, and I was grateful for them.
Yeah.
And I was grateful for 3 hours and 23 minutes.
Yeah, and actually it's a fast time for there.
And I got to tell you what, Shangrila.
Yeah.
I never felt pain on the bike.
Yeah.
I was so happy to watch people flying. There were some people flying past me. Some people that were 25 and some people that were 65. Some of them were men and some of them were women. I relished in the fact that I even had an opportunity to be out there.
To be part of it.
To be, you know what? Come on, it was 18 months to the day that I finished my radiation and chemo.
Yeah.
So it lit me up inside the whole way. It changed me inside on the ride because I haven't thought about everything I was grateful for 3.5 hours ever.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you what, I turned off the Queen K and I rode down towards that hotel and towards the finish chute into T2.
Sure.
And I wasn't feeling like, oh shit, that was hard. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, period.
Yeah. You know what? Because you got out there, you had a great time in the swim, and then you're having your gratitude the entire time. And then there it goes. Hey, am I really racing? They said it's hard, but I'm having a great time.
And I had fun on the way back on that bike, I'll tell you right now. I was going like sometimes 37 miles an hour on the downhill in an aero position. Like the picture I sent you, that was that one. That's the fastest I've ever gone on my bicycle.
It's fun. It's fun, special,
It was special.
Yeah. How did the run go?
I stayed hydrated. I thought of you. I was like, lift your feet up, bend yourself forward. I went like back to everything that you said, and I let it just be my mantra. And I was good until mile 4 and my Achilles locked up.
Oh, okay. What did you do?
I stretched it out.
Okay, good.
I stopped, I stretched it out a little bit. I relaxed all of my body and I told my body to just use muscles that it needed for the run and nothing else.
Sure.
And so I kept moving. I had signed the Ironman billboard with can't stop, won't stop.
Sure.
And I wanted the finish line real bad. And I think my running pace was like 11 to 11:30, you know, slow but steady. My other leg started hurting at mile 9. And I was like, oh, all right, what are we going to do? Went through the same thing, stretched it, tried to take the focus off it, remembered what you said. You know what? Your body at some point is going to scream at you a little bit, but it wasn't the kind of screaming that said, you know what? You're going to the hospital. It was just trying to tell me, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I walked a bit more and then I started running. And at mile 11, I ran home.
2 miles.
Yeah. I ran home and I got to finish, folks. Oh, I have one cool story for you. The day that I got there in Hawaii, I went for a walk and I saw this guy and he was like, I don't know, 50, probably 55 years old. He was from San Francisco. He was from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
And so he grew up in the Philippines. He lived in San Francisco. His name is Abraham, and he does these races.
Sure.
But he'd been to Kona 4 times and got a DNF every single time.
Oh.
Couldn't get through the swim. He was like, I was so close to finishing, and I was like, okay, come on. And you know, I just shared with him. I shared with him what the ripples were at the bottom of the ocean, how to sight with that. I shared with him how to keep his head down, which he didn't do. You know, maybe how to reach and get a good pull, but not to go through the water like a barge, but you know, kind of get a little more angle through, and just worked with him a little bit. I saw him after the race. He came up to me and Janet, because I was with Janet, and he goes, Gerry, you're my guardian angel. I was like, no. He goes, yes, you are. He goes, I made it. He goes, I made the swim where I got DNF'd every time. I made the swim and I finished the race.
That's awesome.
He had a medal. It was incredible.
Finally. Wow. Yes. Good job, Gerry. You did well.